Hi guys, hello! If you don't mind, would you please turn on the notification bell? YouTube isn't showing my videos to you at all, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it, especially now that things are getting more and more interesting. Also, I think that YouTube is secretly unsubscribing you guys, so please pay attention to that. Deusmon, the only God Grade Appmon with a battle power that exceeds the 500,000 as it gets to 510,000. We're now talking about the most powerful God Grade Appmon, which is not a surprise, as Deusmon essentially is the digital reincarnation of the Greek god and actually the most powerful Olympian, namely Zeus, the god of the sky and thunder, who rules as king of the gods on Mount Olympus. In the video where we explained the God Grade level, I remember how I talked about the etymology of the word Zeus and Deus to explain why Deusmon is Zeus. The truth is that I didn't even need to do that, as the entirety of the 6 God Grade Appmon have a lot to do with Greek mythology, and with Deusmon all you have to do is simply check its appearance. Its halo doesn't form a complete circle, and it is made of lightning bolts, and Zeus most of the time is depicted with lightning bolts. In fact, Zeus is known to carry lightning bolts. So this says enough. And in many ways, out of the many various god entities you have in the whole franchise, Deusmon might be the most controversial because it is much more than just an Appmon actually. I mean, there's a reason why it is considered the representative of the Omnipotence application, meaning that it has unlimited, absolute, and unrestricted power, or the ability to do basically anything it wants. Which makes a whole lot of sense, as it has the power of both WARUDAMON, a strategy Appmon, and COMETMON, an astronomy Appmon. WARUDAMON is a perfectionist strategist. It is well versed in deception and scheming and will use any means necessary to make its operations a success. And COMETMON is an Appmon with extensive knowledge of celestial matters. It has the ability to interfere with gravity and can create meteorites at any time by influencing planets. These are 2 very powerful Appmon whose powers were given to Deusmon, and in the manga, Leviathan took control of Deusmon by fusing itself with it. That's why it was drawn darker, and that explains perhaps why it is so powerful. You see, it's not always that you have a super AI that completely takes over the body of an Appmon or a Digimon. Yggdrasil, for example, has never done that. It did take over the body of Suguru during the Digimon Data Squad story, but it never took over the body of a Digimon. In fact, I can recall a couple of cases where Digimon fused themselves with Yggdrasil. Think about Barbamon in the Digimon Next story. This one was arguably the strongest version of Barbamon ever, even stronger than its X-enhanced version. In the Digimon Cyber Sleuth story, you had the Mother Eater who had fused with Yggdrasil to become a high complex multiversal entity that completely overrides the host computer of the digital world, holding power over space, time, and the entire reality of multiple universes. It is a life form that should also easily reach top 5 in strength within the entirety of the Digimon multiverse. And with Deusmon, whose body is completely being taken over by Leviathan, we have a case where a super AI took over the body of an Appmon and really involved itself in battle. Again, which is something that does not happen a lot. Usually the super AI don't partake in battle, but they command. In other words, we actually don't know much about the thought process of Deusmon because in the manga continuity, Leviathan essentially treated Deusmon as its ultimate physical mech. In the anime, Deusmon operated as a servant to Leviathan, and it was fundamentally created to eventually become a vessel to house Leviathan's consciousness. Still in the anime, Deusmon worked together with Rebootmon, and it's not a surprise, I did say that Rebootmon represented Zeus's action of rebooting the world. Both were to push forward the human appification project, and so they acted as Leviathan's ultimate 1-2 punch to bridge the digital and physical worlds. Rebootmon had to focus on materializing Leviathan out of the net ocean into the physical world, while Deusmon had to aggressively convert human beings into raw application data. They were stopped by the heroes, and as Deusmon was defeated by them, Leviathan decided to suck it to completely absorb its data to then come out as the final six-headed mechanical dragon. But so, I tell you this story because in both stories, in both depictions, Deusmon has actually only appeared as sort of like a vessel for Leviathan. It hasn't really acted entirely on its own will, or rather it was heavily influenced by the wishes of Leviathan. That is a little different from its Digimon counterpart Jupitermon, who serves as the leader of the Olympus 12, who even decided to not incorporate Plutomon into the team due to its cruelty. So it's a little bit of a letdown because I feel like because of it we haven't quite seen the best of Deusmon, even if we could actually say that about the 5 other God Grade Appmon. Which is unfortunate as Deusmon has great abilities, like it has the ability to steal the will of all application life forms, it can destroy them completely and incorporate them into itself. With that alone, you could easily say that its powers are top class when compared to the others. And I also did notice that Deusmon is much different compared to the other God Grade Appmon, as it is the only one that is a machine. In fact, it has been nicknamed the Mechanical God. That would put it next to other mechanical god-like entities such as Metatronmon and the Metallic Dramon from the Digimon Links story. It's not always that we get god-type Digimon or Appmon that are mechanical, so I'm actually quite happy with this choice for Deusmon. But my regret again is that Deusmon and the 5 other God Grade Appmon haven't been fleshed out the way they should have. That's why you see me talking this long, because I'm really trying to tell you how amazing these characters are.